Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Black Ops 6. I never thought I'd be making a video like this, but here we are. I'm seeing this everywhere within the COD community. Skill-based damage. Is it in Black Ops 6? Why do gunfights feel so inconsistent? Why do I die so quickly whereas everyone else eats 8 to 10 bullets? What is happening within Black Ops 6? I'm sure you guys have noticed, right? Some matches feel incredible. It feels like you are absolutely laser beaming the other team. You just cannot die, essentially. And then other matches, it really seems like none of your bullets are registering, and when they do, it seems like your gun is shooting stim shots into the other player and healing them. Like, what's going on within Black Ops 6? I think the servers are to blame. I think Activision has just gotten so cheap on us that the servers can no longer handle the input from players within their game. I can't be the only one who thinks that the hitboxes are super wonky within Black Ops 6. Like I said, sometimes the game feels great, other times the game feels absolutely horrible. The time to kill feels super inconsistent. We know that most guns in this game are a 4 to 5 shot kill, but like I said, it seems like it takes 7 or 8 bullets to actually drop somebody, and the netcode so far here in Black Ops 6 feels really bad, or at the very least, very inconsistent. This is further compounded by the fact that the Call of Duty servers have needed upgrading for years now. The tick rate of the servers, which is how many times a server syncs with your game client per second, is actually really bad when compared to most other games out there. Call of Duty uses 20 tick servers, whereas more competitive games use way better servers. Overwatch, for example, uses 63 or 64 tick servers. Counter-Strike uses 64 tick servers. Valorant uses freaking 128 tick servers. Hell, even Fortnite runs on 30 tick servers. Why in the world does Black Ops 6 still run on 20? Do you guys remember back during Modern Warfare Remastered, and this is going to be a blast from the past for some of you, I'm going to rekindle a memory you guys forgot you had. Back during the launch of Modern Warfare Remastered, the game felt horrible. It ran like ass, like everything was just so bad during the launch of Modern Warfare Remastered, and that was because in a move to save money or something, I don't know, they made it so that game ran on 10 tick servers instead of 20, when 20 is already pretty low compared to most other big AAA shooters. The Call of Duty community caught wind of that, a bunch of backlash happened, and eventually they upgraded the servers, but yeah, MWR came out with 10 tick servers, which was horrible. 20 is not much better, but for crying out loud, like, why are they so cheap when it comes to the servers that we are playing on? You then look at the sheer amount of packet burst, which only happens on COD, by the way. I have never played another shooter game where packet burst is an issue. I've never, ever had packet issues in X-Defiant. I've never had packet issues on Overwatch, like, ever in those games, and yet it's a constant issue within the Call of Duty franchise. The servers that we are playing on are just awful, and Call of Duty is massive, so perhaps upgrading the servers would be super costly, but after today's news, I certainly think they can afford it, and we will be talking about that here in a moment. Skill-based damage is not a real thing in Call of Duty. I don't personally believe anyway, but rather, I think it's almost more of a term that we can use to describe what happens when the game just can't keep up with what's happening within a match. That feeling of shooting first, not missing, and then dropping is happening way too much in this game, especially when factors like headshots aren't even a thing in this game. Like before, you might think, well, maybe they landed a couple of headshots on me and therefore I died. Headshots don't really change anything here in Black Ops 6. If you're just dropping, then that's either on you or on them or on the server or something. It feels so inconsistent and weird. At first, I wanted to chalk everything up to it being a brand new game, and because of that, we're all going through that adjustment period, but I think it's much more than that. I think the servers are just borked here to launch a Black Ops 6, and both Activision and Microsoft need to sort that out, and lucky for them, they just came into a whole pile of money, so they can definitely do it, but they won't because, of course, they're gonna be cheap. I teased earlier that there was some pretty big news today, and here it is. It was revealed from Microsoft that Black Ops 6 is the biggest Call of Duty release ever. I feel like we hear that every year, but they're saying it again this year. It set records for the number of players on launch day and new records for the amount of new Game Pass subscribers in the day. In the first 3 days of the Black Ops 6 launch, it is ranked as the #1 Call of Duty game ever in terms of total players, hours played, and matches played. Sales on PlayStation and Steam during this 3-day launch window were up 60% compared to Modern Warfare 3, which definitely makes Black Ops 6 sound like a success. The last thing I need is a freaking alliteration using all those S's, but there we are, that's a sentence. The launch of Modern Warfare 3 was one of the worst ones in recent years, but still, Black Ops 6 is having what they are calling one of, if not the best launch in Call of Duty history. While it's all well and good, how about we start reinvesting some of that into the game itself? It's crazy that after all these years, Call of Duty never really upgraded their servers. The same issues we were having back in games like Modern Warfare 2019 are still happening today, which maybe that's partly due to the Call of Duty HQ, I'm not entirely sure. It's getting to the point where the game feels so inconsistent that people are literally thinking their damage is being nerfed mid-match, and there is some validity to that thanks to an old patent from Activision. Basically, the patent reads that the game could dynamically change health values based on a player's skill level, but from what I've heard and what I've read, that patent was actually for Skylanders and was never really introduced into the Call of Duty franchise. I would not put it past Activision to have skill-based damage. I mean, they manipulate every other aspect of the online multiplayer experience, so changing damage values dynamically in a match could be a thing that they would do, but here's the kicker. We live in an age where everything can be recorded. Whether you're on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, everything can be easily recorded and then analyzed. I have seen some clips online where they claim the skill-based damage is happening, but when you really go in and slow things down, it mostly comes down to missed shots or just weird things happening. For example, this is like the first one I found when I just Googled it here today. This person looks like they put a ton of bullets into their opponent. Of course, they were missing a bunch of shots, but it seems like they should have at least gotten the kill, right? They were claiming potentially skill-based damage was the culprit here, and that's to blame for why they did not get their kill. But then when we go in and super zoom in and slow things down, you can see that a number of bullets were missed, but also the footage isn't fantastic, but there's another player behind the person that they're shooting at. So likely, it does look like they got enough shots off, but it's likely that a bunch of those bullets ended up hitting the person behind their target as compared to hitting the target that they were shooting at. If skill-based damage was a thing, I think we would see a lot more conclusive clips of stuff happening because everybody nowadays can record everything. So from now on, I personally am going to, when something feels off in my matches, stop my recording so I can go back and look at it later. I find that typically when I go through and I look at some of those examples, I was usually just one bullet away from actually getting the kill after I looked at my damage and the range of the gun that I was using. But still, that shoot first, die first feeling in Call of Duty is a terrible one, and it seems to be really happening a lot more within Black Ops 6. Between the map pool at launch and the server stability, Black Ops 6 has received a ton of negative feedback on top of all the positive feedback that it's been receiving. Let's not act like everything is terrible within Black Ops 6, but the servers are pretty freaking bad right now. The maps are even worse, and it will be interesting to see how Treyarch handles that feedback and what's going to be happening to the game going forward. And as always, I'll be here with you guys every step of the way as new updates come out, as new news gets posted, and everything else. So be sure to subscribe if you guys are new around here. Thank you all so much for listening to this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback on skill-based damage down there in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.